All right, and welcome back. This time around, it's episode 3 of Next Goal Wins. This time we're back in the studio, and there's been a lot better content on Twitter from us. I'm sure you've loved that. We'll keep doing that because we have to give the listeners what they want, and
plug the Twitter.
At Next Goal Wins _WF is our hot Twitter.
And as always, as it has been for the past 2 times apparently, it's Christopher McGeera, Brennan Gray Hyatt, and George Wigington. It's always a treat when George stops by, and it's a pleasure to have him on.
Thanks for having me, Chris.
Anytime, George. Now, since the last time, we haven't gotten too much of a chance to talk about one of the more momentous stories in baseball, maybe even baseball history, honestly. The Washington Nationals winning their first World Series. That's one that we didn't see coming, but Bryce Harper did see it coming, actually. He promised to bring a title back to D.C., and he did. He's got to be feeling a little bit disappointed by his decision there, but I mean, there's no way you could have seen that coming. That team looked down and out within the first 40 games, didn't they?
They did look out, but they somehow turned it around. Older ball club, and ended up winning the World Series.
Yeah, I think one of my favorite storylines with that one is Ryan Zimmerman. I remember, I think it was like maybe opening day 2010 when I was living in Maryland at the time, so we went to the Nationals game, and I can't even tell you who any of these players were on that team. They were awful, except Ryan Zimmerman has been there like since day one. It's absurd. And it was great to see him win something, actually. I don't know how old he is, but he's kind of like James Milner of baseball. He's been there, and he's been wildly solid.
Yeah, and James Milner recently was rewarded with a Champions League title, and soon he will be rewarded with the Premier League title, of course, but that's for another discussion later this episode.
Let's hope not.
I think my favorite comeback story from that Nationals team has to be Steven Strasburg. I remember being really into baseball when he first came on the scene with that curveball. He could throw like a 90-mile-per-hour curveball or something like disgusting. Yeah. And then he just threw out his arm in like 6 games or something terrible.
He did.
So it was good to see him come back.
He did get injured really early into his MLB career, and then has had an awesome comeback. But he is a free agent after this year, so it'll be interesting to see whether the Nationals are able to keep him or if they will turn to a different pitcher, maybe Garrett Cole from the other World Series team, to boost their pitching prowess. But going off of Christopher's story of when he went to a Nationals game and saw Ryan Zimmerman, I too went to a Nationals game when I went to DC, and I went to the opening day game, but there was like no one on the team, so they had I remember Nigel Morgan was their star player at the time. He was like the super energetic center fielder that he charged the mound one time and got clotheslined. You remember that video by the Marlins first baseman? Have you seen that video?
I've not seen that video. We'll try and edit that in on our
it's awesome. He literally just gets clotheslined by this giant first baseman, but I had a shirt that had him on it.
Sick story.
Thanks.
Anyway, you raise a good point though with Garrett Cole and Steven Strasburg, both free agents now. Steven Strasburg turning down the final 4 years of his contract with the Nationals. 4 years for, I believe it was $100 million. So he clearly believes a lot in himself that he can get a longer deal and one that's worth more money. I think that's very much possible, especially when you look at guys like Verlander. He's definitely worth more than that. So I guess that sort of opens up an interesting debate. Who would you rather sign for your team? Let's say who would address the Yankees' needs better, because that's a team.
Because one of them is going to the Yankees. We already know that.
Let's assume one of them does go. Who do you think's a better fit?
For the Yankees, interesting. I don't know. I think I like Steven Strasburg better as a pitcher in general. He has a lot of velocity. He's younger.
He's not younger.
He's not younger.
No.
What
He's
are the
2
ages?
years older. He is 31 and Garrett Cole's 29.
Oh, just kidding. Well, backtracking. Edit out. No, but yeah, Steven Strasburg is one of the more dominant pitchers in the MLB, I think. And yeah, Christopher, take it over.
It's a fantastic take.
Yeah.
Also for the Nationals, another worrying concern for them is the fact that Anthony Rendon, who was arguably one of the best, probably their best offensive player during the World Series, if not the playoffs in the entirety, he's also a free agent. But he had a fantastic year this year. He was kind of down for the past 2 years after having a breakout season a few years back. So it'll be interesting to see what kind of a deal he can get. Because for me, he's not worth like a 6, 7, maybe 8-year investment. I'm not sure what you guys are thinking, but I think there's better options out there. Possibly somebody as versatile as maybe a Didi Gregorius.
Yeah, you are high on Didi Gregorius, but you are high on most of the Yankees players. But
I'm not high on Gary Sanchez. He's the worst.
Everyone
catcher.
except for Gary Sanchez. But yeah, so I think that I'm not sure what our studio mates are finding so funny, but yeah. So no, I don't think Anthony Rendon is a great investment. But do you think he'll win the MVP?
For me, he's not. He shouldn't win the MVP. I don't think so. I think Christian Yelich had a better season.
But he was hurt towards the end.
But it's only evaluated on the basis of the regular season, which he played mainly the entirety of, except for the last 10 games.
Yeah. I honestly think they're going to go with Cody Bellinger, is my prediction for NL MVP.
He was super hot in the beginning, and not that he cooled off, but he kind of went to like normal superstar levels, I guess.
True.
But he's still definitely deserving.
But I think he's one of the RBI leaders in over 40 home runs, which is pretty impressive for any MLB player.
Definitely impressive to put up those stats at any point, really. And sort of switching gears here, we'll return to baseball and possibly the Brewers. So there'll be more mentions of Yelich when we go to our MLB expert later in the show. But for now, there's the NBA season's maybe 10 games in, so there's some early premonitions that we've gotten. And for me, at least, I think it looks like the Sixers are the real deal. If I'm being honest, that's not me being biased either. I think it's most evident in the way that Joel Embiid put Karl Anthony Towns in a chokehold. If you saw that video,
Joel Embiid did not do that.
No, that was Ben Simmons.
That was Ben Simmons, yeah.
But I think that shows, one, good camaraderie, and two, they're willing to go. They're willing to play dirty. Well, not dirty, but they'll do what it takes.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think that the 76ers have been quite impressive to start off the season. The team that I've been most impressed with in the Eastern Conference is actually the Miami Heat. My favorite player, Jimmy Butler, actually just the other day, 30 points in the first half. First player to do that since LeBron in 2014. That's pretty impressive. But I think it's interesting to see how Jimmy Butler doesn't really play well with other superstars. On the 76ers, when there was that big three on the Timberwolves, when he was put with Karl Anthony Towns and Wiggins, that didn't work out too well at all.
I think it was mostly a maturity issue. Jimmy Butler didn't like them. I think he liked Embiid and Simmons better.
Right.
Yeah.
But I think the Heat's play style is perfect for him, where he now has just a bunch of space to do everything he wants to do, and
except win.
Well, I mean, they are 6-2.
Yeah,
so
it's not gonna last.
They're looking pretty good so far, but it is early into the season, and the NBA always starts out a bit shaky, and then towards the middle of the season, the better teams start to rise to the top. But another team I've been super impressed with, or I guess impressed isn't the right word, because I knew they were going to be good, but the Lakers are just killing it with LeBron and Anthony Davis. What are your thoughts on them?
I would love to see them lose. Mostly, actually, I want to see both LA teams lose. I'm not really a fan of the Clippers or the Lakers.
No.
I don't like the idea of just pairing super teams together. I don't know what California has with super teams, because we just had the Warriors. I don't want to have to deal with the Clippers and the Lakers now. It's a bit too much for me. I think Anthony Davis is definitely a great player, but I think there's a lot of pressure on the Lakers this season to win something, because he is a free agent after this season.
Right.
he did mention something about going to Chicago, but
he hasn't ruled Chicago out.
He hasn't ruled Chicago out, so I think that's a strong contender right there. You know, if Kobe White starts balling up, and
he already is balling up, but
didn't he? I think he got like destroyed by somebody like last night or something.
Yeah, he did get blocked pretty hard by Dwight Howard. I saw that video.
If you get blocked by Dwight Howard nowadays, you should retire.
Dwight Howard is also kind of making a comeback. I don't know like where this has been, but he's back to his Magic days where he's just killing it.
During every Lakers game, if you go on Twitter, Dwight Howard is trending at some point.
Yeah, I know.
I don't understand why.
But yeah, the Lakers have just been all around pretty impressive because now that LeBron isn't the offensive focal point, they're able to go through Anthony Davis, which just opens up LeBron, and I think he had a road game span where he had 3 triple doubles in a row. So that was quite impressive. George or Gray, have you guys been paying attention to the NBA or any?
Nope.
Nope. Well, yeah. So I think that the Lakers have been quite impressive, and one of the things that going back to the MLB. Maybe this could be our transition to get you guys involved. Is that
oh boy?
So with the wild card, the Nationals won the wild card game, and then they went on to win the World Series, which is pretty unprecedented for a team that's lower ranked to then go on and beat the best team. And I feel like that's been a trend in sports in general, where we see that the number 1 teams just aren't really winning the championships that much. Like going to the MLS, both number 1 seeds have been eliminated. I know the MLS has an odd playoff bracket, but the New York City FC and LAFC were both eliminated, leaving Toronto and the
Atlanta,
Seattle Sounders now
so
to
Toronto
play for
beat
the final.
Atlanta, and okay,
Yes.
Well, I mean, the Sounders
I
and Toronto aren't weak teams at all. Like they're very close seconds to, if not honestly better teams. If they didn't, I mean, obviously they didn't have a better record, but they're still pretty damn good, you know.
I think that's what makes the Saturday's match between Leicester and Arsenal so interesting, because Leicester is like having the season of their life again. It reminds me of
They're playing way better than they did.
They're playing way better.
And honestly, I have a better points total now than they did in that season. I'm pretty sure they're on a better run. It's just that the fact that Liverpool and City have not been losing any points, really.
Well, and sort of talking about this discussion of the playoffs as opposed to wild cards, we'll bring in an MLB insider here, Brian Berg. Brian, how are you doing today?
Hey, Chris, how you doing?
I'm doing just fine. Brian, we've been discussing sort of how wild cards affect sort of playoff standings, and I know your team, the Milwaukee Brewers, suffered a harsh defeat because of this system. Do you think it's a just system sort of bringing about teams that might not be at the top having a chance to actually win the World Series? Because the Nationals did this year.
Yeah, I mean that's a great question, but I think it's more about I don't think it's about record in the playoffs. I think it's about who's hot, which rotation looks like it's going to be better, or which rotation has the tools to win in a 7-game series. I mean, you can even look at the Nationals in a way that when Bryce Harper left, it galvanized that team and made them play even harder, and they wanted to prove that they could beat the Dodgers, that they could beat the Brewers, that they could beat the top of the NL, and then win without Bryce Harper, who's arguably one of the best players in the league right now.
The best player, if I might add myself. He's definitely better than Mike Trout for me.
No, absolutely not.
I would.
A little bit of bias there, maybe.
I don't think there's really any bias in that. But adding to that, we were also discussing earlier, because Garrett Cole and Steven Strasburg are both free agents. Just to get your take, who would you sign?
Who did you say? I'm sorry. My phone reception's bad right now.
Yeah, it's definitely on your end, not us. We have perfect connection, but yeah. So I was saying with the fact that both Steven Strasburg and Garrett Cole are free agents, just to get your take, who would you sign?
I would take Garrett Cole any day of the week. Strasburg has had injuries throughout his entire career. You don't know if he's going to give you like a solid season or if he's going to be like, I don't want to use the word platoon, but like a platoon pitcher, I guess. But he'll give you starts. I just think if you want a ace and if you want a pitcher that will lead you through the playoffs, you would go with Garrett Cole.
Definitely.
I honestly think the Yankees are going to get him this offseason.
I like that call. Now,
I would say he either goes to Boston or he goes to New York.
those are kind of polar opposites at some point. But now that you mention polar opposites here, I know you as a big Anfield faithful are going to be tuning into the Liverpool-Manchester City match this Sunday.
Oh, yes.
So, I don't know. It's really a toss-up for me. It's pretty monumental like it was last season when they met, and City won and turned the title race all around. Do you see this happening again?
Oh, no, I do not. I think Liverpool takes care of business at home. They lost 2 points in the amount, or 2 points out of how many points they could make.
Yeah, they've been pretty good.
They're 31 for 33.
There you go.
But they've been winning. They've been playing. They've been getting production from players not role players, but like position or not position, but like not their elite players, but they're mediocre players, and Lallana and Origi and Oxlade-Chamberlain.
They have a deep bench this season, which, I guess you could say was that way this past season as well, but it really seems like their second-string players, I guess, are also turning up in the space of, like, Salah's injury. He wasn't even really missed for that period.
Now, Ryan, what is your take on the Mo Salah, Sadio Mane beef? I heard that has been just tearing apart the Liverpool clubhouse. So is that true?
I've heard about that. From the way that they've been playing on the field, it doesn't seem like it's really taken or it hasn't progressed onto the field yet. So I think it's still fine. I think Liverpool end up. I don't know. I think Sadio might leave. They might bring in a different player. I've heard. Well, I know they were trying to get Coutinho again, and then I heard some rumors about Van Bierk on Bayern. Did he go to Barca?
Yeah.
But I don't think it's that big of a deal. I don't think it's that big of an issue this season. It might progress, but as of now, I don't think. I think they should be the favored to win the chart.
I don't know. I still like City in this one, and for the title.
Well, I have to say I'm going to back Brian on this one, Chris, because actually I was looking at City's injuries for this Sunday, and David Silva, Rodrigo, Laporte, and a new one today is Leroy Sané. He's also been out, but Ederson.
Oh yeah.
So that's all of their injured players for Sunday, and they're a deep team, but with that many injuries, you have to be favoring Liverpool.
Yeah, their defense has definitely been struggling a little bit. That's what definitely been one of Liverpool's strengths. But, without Ederson, did you saw Kyle Walker in goal over the weekend? So I think City's solved the goalkeeping problem. It's really not much of an issue for me. Now,
putting him up against Becker, I would take Becker any day.
I don't know. I think Alisson's overrated. Have you seen Bernd Leno play? He faces 30 shots every match.
And saves 25 of them.
Yeah, it's a pretty good ratio if you ask me. So just as a sort of final thoughts, what kind of a scoreline do you think it would take for Arsenal to finally fire Unai Emery?
Arsenal?
They take on Leicester tomorrow.
Leicester is the home team in
Leicester's
that one.
home,
Yeah,
too.
it's
So
Arsenal away at Leicester.
I'm saying we concede 3, don't score any. That gets Unai fired.
Two, I think.
I think a 2-0 he'll be safe.
I'll give Arsenal a goal. I think it'll be 3-1.
That's fair.
That's what I was gonna say.
They're gonna take the lead early on through like David Luiz header 10 minutes in, and then lose it.
And then lose it 3-1. I think if it's 2-0, they'll be safe. But if it's 3-1, no.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll take that.
Yeah.
Anything that gets them fired, honestly.
But now, who do they bring in?
I'm thinking Mikel Arteta,
Ooh.
Massimiliano Allegri, or Eddie Howe. Those are my top
Ooh.
3.
You
What
can't
about the
take
special
Eddie
one?
Howe away from
The special
Bournemouth. Dude, why would Eddie Howe leave Bournemouth?
Because the Emirates is a dream for any manager.
Bournemouth. Okay, if Arsenal lose against Leicester and Bournemouth get a point, they go above Arsenal.
Right. Imagine what he could do with that many resources.
I mean, that's true, but
He's playing with Joshua King as his front man.
And he's doing excellently.
Imagine if he has Aubameyang, Pepe, and Lacazette.
he would not like it. I mean, I just don't. I think Eddie Howe's one of those managers where you have to put him at a team with finite resources, and he'll get the best out of those not great players. Like, I just don't know if Eddie Howe would be able to get the best out of those huge personalities who think they're hot shit, like Aubameyang.
Aubameyang does not have a huge
and
personality.
Lacazette. I mean, they're big stars, though, and they, to an extent, they have that personality, and that's something I don't think a player who's playing for Bournemouth is going to have. And
Actually,
it's
Joshua King, I've heard, has the largest personality out of anyone in the entire Prem.
Source?
Thanks, Brennan. Yeah, source, please.
Source?
Source is the
Just say
Sport
the-
Bible.
Oh, that's reliable.
Just say the Daily Mirror or something.
All right, Brian. Any final thoughts on this weekend's fixtures?
Well, I haven't really looked at the Premier League that much this week, but I still think, all I've really been paying attention to is Liverpool, Man City.
All right, what's your scoreline there?
2-0 at home. Liverpool.
Okay. That's fair.
I think it'll be. I just don't. I mean, I like Man City's attack. I just don't think that they'll be able to win at Anfield. And as you saw last year, I mean, Anfield's a magical place for Liverpool, so they can put up even 5 if they wanted to.
I don't know about that. I'll have to disagree, but I guess we'll have to see on Sunday actually what actually goes down. But in the meantime, Brian will keep up with that and maybe show up for next week's show and we'll discuss that a little bit further. But thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
Oh, it's always a pleasure.
Thanks, Brian.
All right, and that was Brian. No last name.
Brian Berg.
I think we're actually forgetting about the best fixture of the weekend here, boys,
What
which
is
is
it?
Bayern versus Dortmund.
However-
Tomorrow at 12:30. It's
In a,
super close.
In a very
in the
tight Bundesliga.
Yeah, the Bundesliga is super close.
It's extremely tight.
And Bayern had a super bad loss where they recently fired their manager. So they
However-
got a new manager this past weekend.
Ooh, so they might be on that new manager boost for it.
Right.
I hate the fact that Niko Kovac was the scapegoat for all of this. Bayern have an aging squad. There were injuries, and they threw him in everything. If we watched that game against Frankfurt, a 5-1 loss, 10 minutes in, Jerome Boateng decides out of nowhere he's going to stick his leg out, gets a red, and sends the whole game into just a mockery, honestly. And then it forces Niko Kovac to, by mutual agreement, leave the club.
But really, they're, I think, 5th in Bundesliga right now. And
It's very close.
Yeah.
And that's just not up to Bayern fan standards. So I feel like they were looking for a way to get
They're
him out.
spoiled, man. They've won
They
every
are
single
spoiled.
time
It's
since
like-
2013.
It's like when United got Van Gaal.
Yeah, so right now it's Borussia Mönchengladbach
Yeah.
at the top with 22, and then there's 19 for Dortmund, and then tied for third is Leipzig, Bayern, Freiburg, Schalke, and Hoffenheim at 18, and then 2 teams trailing them with 17. So it's very, very close.
Yeah, like half the Bundesliga table is in contention, honestly, for the
Keep in
title
mind,
right now.
there's only 18 teams in the
Yeah,
Bundesliga as
yeah,
well. So,
yeah.
but the last game, as you recall, was 5-0 in favor of Bayern, And this time around, I don't know about Jadon Sancho's fitness for this one.
It was the exact same lineup, throwing that out there, that went up against the team that lost, that beat Bayern. So when they won 5-0 midweek, it was quite literally the same lineup.
Really?
Yeah. Because I looked at the lineups after they lost 5-0 against that really bad team. I was like, who's playing? And it was like Alba, like Muller, Lewandowski, Coutinho. Their full team is playing. Like, they do have some injuries, but you can't look at that lineup and tell me they should lose 5-0.
Yeah.
What was that, last week?
That was last weekend. And their midweek game was...
Correction, we'll take that as a 5-1 to Frankfurt.
Yeah.
Did you just set me up for that correction? You just confirmed my thoughts while on his laptop so that he could set me up to correct.
Eintracht Frankfurt is not a, quote, terrible team.
Really? Give me their history. Since you know a lot about
their last manager,
without
Niko
the
Kovac,
laptop open.
Last manager was Niko Kovac, and he's actually produced quite a few good fixtures between Bayern and Frankfurt, coaching for each team. His last game as manager for Eintracht Frankfurt, you recall, was the DFB Pokal final, in which Frankfurt won 3-1, and it was a very exciting match where they took the win. Kovac was in tears because he was going to Bayern the next season, and then it's very funny that his Bayern tenure ends in this fashion, a 5-1 loss to Frankfurt.
Yes, it is.
I think Frankfurt was actually the team that we saw while Chris was asleep in his bed that weekend while he was sick.
Yes. We saw Frankfurt
play.
Dortmund.
No, you saw Dortmund and Freiburg.
Freiburg, not Frankfurt.
Edit out.
Yeah. I wouldn't challenge Christopher on his knowledge of all things Frankfurt. They have a quite far-right ultras group, and he very much likes them and supports them for that reason.
They actually played FC St. Pauli, who have the very far left fan group. They played them in the Pokal, which was fun.
Yeah.
That was at the Commerzbank Arena, the home of Eintracht Frankfurt.
Yeah, excellent. Well, in other big matches this weekend, we wouldn't want to overlook what's going on at the bottom of the Premier League table.
No, we kind of do, honestly.
Watford and Norwich, two very much struggling teams, are playing each other as we speak.
I'm glad we're spending time on this.
Watford hold a 1-0 lead, and honestly, I think Watford are an interesting talking point because of how well they've done in previous seasons, and now this season they can't seem to get anything going. They don't. It's not like they don't have good players. I mean, they still have like De La Feu as their probably main guy for their team. I mean, what do you think is going wrong with them? Is it something where it's financial trouble, or is it just they're not getting those results in the beginning of the season, which can often happen with other small teams?
I often attribute it to Troy Deeney's form. I feel like he's such a captain in the locker room that when he's hot, Watford seem to be doing well.
And that might be it. Deeney just hasn't been found this season. I don't know if he's
I think he's injured.
Yeah, well, I think that might be
He's not
doing
hard to
it.
find. He's quite a wide fellow.
Yeah. Fat Drake, as many call him. Yes. So, I mean, with his absence, it might just be that Watford, without their talisman, are just not really going to get anything going. Obviously, a long season left, but it's something to take note of. And then also Norwich, who, if you remember, beat Manchester City early on in the season and had Timu Pukki just going off, have since cooled off, and I don't think they've gotten a win since that. They've been downhill. So stuff at the bottom is sometimes get interesting, more towards the end of the season when relegation's on the line, of course.
I think another good relegation clash is Brighton United.
Yeah. Well, you know, high-flying Seagulls are...
nice
what are they?
pun.
Yeah, you know. They're 8th in the table. Manchester United's 10th in the table. But
6-pointer.
Yeah, so, I mean, it's a mid-table 6-pointer at this point. 15 points for Brighton and then 13 for Manchester United.
So Pogba could be back.
Really?
Yeah. So both teams only 7 and 5 points above the relegation zone, respectively. So, you know, you're never that far off when the table's this tight, especially through the middle.
So what kind of results or string of results is it going to take to get Ole off the wheel?
Well, the thing is, we're playing long term right now. That's what you don't understand. While Unai is focusing game to game, changing, throwing Ozil in midweek, we have consistent lineups with youth, and Ole has the right vision. I back Ole. I stand by Ole.
You're even captaining Ashley Young and continuously throwing him out there.
Ashley Young is only playing right now because Luke Shaw is injured yet again, and our defense is looking weak because of injuries from Bailly, who's actually back in training this week. But yeah, I'm sure our listeners don't care about the in-depth facts of United.
Oh, I mean, some probably do. But
Our listeners in India
yeah,
probably do.
I think
Yeah.
that 30% of our 19 listeners are from India, so that's pretty cool.
30%.
Yeah.
so like 4?
Yeah.
4,000, of course. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah.
We have a special prize for whoever becomes the big 2-0, big 20th follower.
Yeah.
So get there as soon as you can, honestly.
Yeah. So the only place you really see gaps in points in the Prem table right now is between the top 4 and then the big chunk of
Yep.
15 teams in the middle,
Mediocrity.
or 13 teams in the middle, and then there's a 3-point gap between them and the bottom 3 of Watford, Southampton, Norwich. Do you think that this trend of kind of mediocrity in the middle is going to continue, and you'll just see those 4 teams continue to soar at the top: Liverpool, Man City, Leicester City, Chelsea? Or do you think the teams in the middle, like out of that big group, who do you think is going to rise up? Do you think Manchester United and Tottenham and Arsenal are going to actually make their way back up to those 5 through 7 spots, or do you think that some of those smaller teams might actually grab the spot? Because currently, as it stands, it would be Sheffield United, Bournemouth are going to the Europa League as well, with Leicester City going to the Champions League if things ended today.
Well, I mean, for me, once Unai Emery's gone, we'll get the front 3 of Aubameyang, Pepe, and Lacazette, and then Ozil's going to be thrown in there. So it's going to be an offensive powerhouse of Arsenal. They're going to go on a long run. They're going to finish 3rd, so don't worry about that. Sheffield and Bournemouth, you don't have to worry about. They're going to fall off, as they usually do in the second half of the season.
Wow.
And Spurs will pick it up in the second half, but they'll finish outside top. No, they'll finish top 4. Chelsea's not finishing top 4. That's my hot take.
Ooh, that's a hot one.
My response to your question, Gray, is that the only team that I've seen that's actually quality this year is Leicester. I've watched a lot of Sheffield, Brighton, I've watched a lot of mid-tier, low-tier games this year, and I've only been impressed with Leicester. So I would think it'll be our usual top 6, plus Leicester could replace one of them.
Outside, I would definitely think if it is like the normal top 6, fill of those spots, that Leicester would grab that extra Europa League spot. Honestly, I think they could challenge for the Champions League spot. I don't really see any of those other smaller teams really making that big of a challenge. I mean, obviously, Sheffield, Bournemouth, Brighton, and Crystal Palace are doing very well, but it's early in the season. There's lots of games to be played. And yes, Leicester City are playing amazing football. That is one of the things that we've been seeing. They're playing great attacking style. Brennan Rodgers really has them running very efficiently, very well. And it's kind of like a Leicester renaissance. They might be finally establishing themselves as the challengers for the European spots, which we thought they might do after the title-winning season. It's just taken a few years to actually find their footing. Obviously, losing their team owner was a big setback for them.
Wasn't that last year, though?
And their 6, Conte. I feel like he was one of the...
And Mahrez.
Losing their...
And Mahrez,
they had to rebuild after the team was inevitably
bought out.
Jamie Vardy made the worst mistake of his life by not joining Arsenal that summer.
I think he made the best decision of his life, because now he's going to have another run at
He
the
lives
title.
in Leicester full time.
Yeah, that's much better than London. Come on.
I don't know about that one.
What would you do with Vardy, Lacazette, and Aubameyang on the team together? Get into center defensive mid, man.
Yeah.
Stop buying strikers.
I don't know. Socrates and David Luiz have that filled up right there. We throw in Mustafi too. No one's getting past us.
What are your thoughts on Xhaka refusing to return to the team?
He's not refusing.
No, that's what Unai reported this morning. Actually, he said he's not prepared to come back yet. Unai invited him back for the game this weekend, and he came out with a public statement.
Granit Xhaka, he's opted out of a return.
Yeah.
So as opposed to just being left out, I mean, I think he's played his last match. I don't think he's going to play again.
Gone in January.
Yep. I mean, he was obviously the club's top captain, and now he's not a captain at all.
Yeah, that's wild. I didn't realize that he'd been voted by the players to be captain this season.
It was more of a tactic by Emery to sort of not have all the blame on him. He could be like, oh, it was a vote.
It was Xhaka's fault.
Whoops.
Yet again.
Good ebony. Sorry. Yeah, but for me, I think I don't see Granit Xhaka playing again for Arsenal, which isn't too much of an issue because it's not like he was doing that well anyway.
Maybe you guys can pick up Pogba in January.
I think Pogba's an ideal replacement. Both box-to-box midfielders.
Do you think Pogba will stay in the Prem or go to a different league?
I could see him going to like the French league or something, joining PSG, and then like becoming a star again because he can obviously tear it up in the French league because anybody can tear it up in the French league.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think that's probably in his best interest too. I just feel like he just
If
hasn't meshed with the team. He doesn't play well in the Prem. Like
Honestly, to save his career,
Yeah.
he'd have to go to somewhere where he can just do that, and that's going to be the French league. If he goes to PSG, he'll be able to just, screw about, do whatever he wants on the field.
send some nasty long passes against mediocre French teams.
Yeah, which, I mean, is all he really wants to do. He tries to do that in the Prem, but obviously it doesn't work because the Prem is a real league.
Right.
But when you're playing against the French, I mean, come on.
Yeah, you just look at what someone like Mbappe's doing in that league.
Oh,
I don't know if you
it's
saw that. Yeah,
It's cruel.
He came back from injury and in 6 games had 8 goals. That was what I heard.
The stats that come out of that league is just...
You're playing against
they're
farmers.
They're stupid. You're playing against
And
French
then your
dirt
midweek
farmers.
games are like French Cup against
Yeah.
Oh
even
God, yeah.
Even
farmer-
worse. It's
yeah.
like...
That's why I don't understand why so many like French league players from like Lyon or like random smaller teams, why they're so hyped up and all these Premier League teams try and go after these players that do well, but they're clearly in an inferior league.
Yeah, and then people like
And then they
Pepe
don't
and
end up
Depay
doing
just
that
don't
well.
do anything.
Dude, Pepe's gonna make it.
He made
Don't
like
worry about it.
what 1 PK this year?
Yeah,
That's
one
not
penalty
it?
kick.
Two
it's
free
2
kicks.
6 free kicks. That was good.
That's
In a
right.
high-level
I will
Europa
say
League
that.
clash.
Yeah, to save Arsenal's ass.
Right.
Which I almost wish we lost that one because then I think Unai would have been gone. But one day.
They
it'll
were
happen.
pretty sweet free kick goals, to be fair.
Yeah,
but,
the second one was wild. Did you see Rashford's
yeah,
free kick goal?
and I saw the comparisons of him to Ronaldo because of that, and I just laughed.
Chill. Yeah.
It's like, obviously, I mean, it is even a better game situation than Ronaldo's famous. What's the name of that free kick? I forget the style that he hits it in, but the one against Portsmouth from like 2008. Everybody knows it. Just boop, the ball has no spin. It curls around in the air randomly and goes upper 90 perfectly. Rashford did it from further out, and in a higher stakes match, I would say, against Chelsea. Chelsea's a better team than Portsmouth, obviously. But
Well, Grace mentioned Portsmouth. We got
yeah,
mark that on the bingo
take
card.
that off. I didn't mention them in a more positive manner this time, though, so I'm doing better.
I have a good talking point here. What do you guys think about Pulisic's form? I don't know
Of
if you guys
course.
have been watching Chelsea, but he's kind of been tearing it up.
He in recent games, it wasn't until very recently, though.
Right.
Um,
But 3 games in a row, he has a goal. He drew a pen in 2 of the last 2 games.
That's right.
Yep, he got a couple of assists
Mhm.
early on, didn't get his goal, and then I think he got another assist, and then broke it off with a hat trick. Obviously, American soccer Twitter went wild. He's our hero again. He'll lead us to the World Cup
I mean, it's pretty
title.
impressive.
It is very
Left
impressive.
foot, right foot header.
Yeah,
hat
a perfect hat trick in the
Yeah.
Prem is nothing like.
trick. Talent.
Yeah, it's
But
not
then
nothing.
Rodrigo of Real Madrid, who's even younger, did the same thing.
In
True.
Champions
Oh,
League.
that's
League,
true.
yeah.
In Champions
It was
League.
against what? Galatasaray?
Yeah.
Eh.
And it's also Rodrigo. Like, think about Rodrigo compared to, he's Brazilian, right? Compared to other Brazilians versus
Nah.
Americans and Pulisic.
Yeah.
you know?
He's American, so it's so much
He's
better.
our savior.
Yeah. If Pulisic was British, nobody would care.
Right.
No, they would care more. Imagine if Mason Mount had that. Frank
Oh,
Lampard
yeah.
would just have exploded.
That's
Every
true.
time Mason Mount scores, British football goes wild.
He is the best young midfielder in the game. That's facts.
Pulisic or Mount?
No.
Yeah, neither of them are. But
Yeah,
yeah,
neither of them are.
that's,
But I mean, it is exciting to have Pulisic playing well, and I mean, obviously, we all hope he does continue to play well and keep getting playing time. It was very disappointing early on when we thought he might just be getting snubbed for game time at Chelsea, but
yeah, keep in mind it wasn't Lampard who signed him.
that's true. It wasn't. And hopefully, old Lamps treats him well, but you never really know with these things. Form is temporary, but loyalty is forever.
FC Copenhagen.
It is interesting though how like just a team's playing style can have a huge impact on a player's performance. Like at Dortmund, he wasn't even getting playing time, and I mean he had a good start there, but then just kind of fizzled off. Like people replaced him.
He got overshadowed by
Yeah.
Jadon Sancho.
Yeah, but at Chelsea, like he's kind of starting to shine. So like, what do you think the difference in playing styles or managerial styles between Lampard and Dortmund's manager were that have allowed Pulisic to shine?
Fabian Favre.
Of course, yeah. I was blanking on the name.
Yeah. You had it.
Yeah,
I think-
tipping my tongue.
I think Dortmund playstyle almost fit him better because he was naturally a winger, and at
Yeah.
Chelsea right now he's playing in like
More of like a midfield.
three cam attacking position, like a diamond.
Yeah.
And I don't even know if I like him there because his dribbling it's good, but I feel like his pace is really what sets him apart.
Yeah, he's meant to be a winger, I would
Yeah.
have to say, and it does seem like he's doing well in the position. Obviously, like he's getting the passing styles of Chelsea down fairly well. I mean, when you see them on the break, especially running up against that wall of 4 defenders they'll usually face against the smaller teams, they're able to like do a nice little passing triangles and get through the defense pretty easily. Or I mean, not easily, but pretty well. And they play good football, which is good and bodes well for Pulisic. And I think it's better for him in the long run not to just be a dribbler and actually have some good passing. And obviously he's great at finishing the ball as well. But I think it's going to help him build as a player.
I read a post the other day that said the best 11 in football and asking for people's thoughts. So maybe we could all give our thoughts on the best 11. So at left wing there's Mane, striker Ronaldo, right wing Messi, center mid Bernardo Silva, De Bruyne, Conte, and then TAA at right back, Koulibaly at center back, Koulibaly, I don't know how you say
Napoli.
it. Van Dijk at center back, Robertson at left back, and Oblak at goalie. You guys agree?
I
Who
say
would you
No.
replace?
first impressions, I did not hear.
Where did you find this?
Who is that?
Is this some random person on Twitter that you're
No, that's Facebook, bro.
Great.
left back Robertson? I mean, bold call, not really. Oblak is the best keeper.
Robertson's
Hakimi
more
at
of a
right
right
back. That's my hot take.
No, I was talking
Hakimi
about
is the best.
Koulibaly.
Right back.
No way. Not Koulibaly. He still plays for Napoli, or did he move
Yeah.
somewhere?
Still plays for Napoli.
I mean, yeah, Napoli are doing good. But
Bernardo
Best in
Silva
the world.
also debatable. It could be David Silva there. You could put
Yeah, I wouldn't put-
Modric 6 months ago in there.
Dude, Modric
terrible right
18
now.
months ago.
yeah,
Actually, that 2-month period during the World Cup.
Yeah,
he
right,
wasn't.
that's a little
He was playing terrible before and
I,
after.
I was surprised to see no Salah on there.
And he really didn't do
Salah,
much
yeah,
in
that's
the
a
World
good
Cup.
take.
He got a hat trick.
So
in
many other
one of the
Croatian
early
players
games.
played
Firmino,
so
what
well.
about Bob?
Yeah, like I don't know why he got all the credit for that.
Well, you can't replace
Kind
Ronaldo
of
with Firmino.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you can put Firmino Cam.
True.
Throw him in there for.
Where's
Bernardo
Aubameyang?
Silva?
He was left out.
Dude, where's Marcus Rashford?
Yeah, Marcus Rashford, bro.
Best 11.
Lingard.
yeah, Jesse Lingard.
Apparently, Mustafi has like 3 more goals than Lingard in the last 20.
You know what? The best stat I saw actually
I saw the side too.
is that Ben Foster, goalkeeper, has more shots on target this season than Jesse Lingard.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, 1-0, right?
Yeah.
I heard his clothing brand, J Lings, lost like $2.8 million last year.
I'm sure it did. Who wants to wear Jesse Lingard stuff? Like, come on.
Well, what do we think about because Bayern again looking for a new coach, a new manager? They reached out to Arsene Wenger, but apparently they've rejected Wenger. They're going in a different direction. I think that would have been a perfect match if you ask me. I think old Wenger could have won something
I
big.
don't think Wenger is really. I don't think he should ever manage
Right.
anywhere else again.
Yeah.
I think he should be done.
Yeah,
Like,
let his legacy live. There's
Yeah.
a huge bust in the Emirates of Wenger.
like if he comes, the only job I could see him actually being decent in is actually coming back to Arsenal.
yeah,
That would be ridiculous.
but not now. In like
actually now.
5 years.
Right now.
In 5 years when y'all are really bad.
But won't
Fire
he be super
Emery,
old in
Wenger
5 years? Like how old is
He's
he?
already
He's super old
He would be
now.
5 years older than he is now, actually.
Which-
to be
what is-
exact.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hot take.
It's- But I think he would have been a great fit at Bayern, because again they have an aging squad,
Because
and
you like Bayern.
well, I have a soft spot for the Bavarians, of course. But anyway, if it's not Wenger, who do you see fitting there? Because Allegri's available.
Special one.
Mourinho's
I see
available.
Moyes.
David Moyes.
It's
No.
Moyes, by the way.
Moyes.
Ole.
Ole.
Oh God.
gets fired because we lose to Brighton 3-0.
And we pick up Unai.
We pick up we pick up Wenger.
Ooh.
Ole goes to Arsenal, and then Emery goes to Bayern.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. But the fact that Unai Emery is such a mediocre manager, yet he's managed the likes of like Mbappe, Neymar, like he's gotten to manage some of the world's best, but he's awful. Well, he's very mediocre.
Well, who was he managing before this? PSG?
He was Valencia, then Sevilla, then PSG.
Stupid.
He won the Europa League 3 times in a row with PSG, with Sevilla.
Yeah, that's right.
And he, of course, he couldn't win with Arsenal.
Well, he still might.
Was he the head coach of Sevilla whenever they were killing us in Europa League like 3 years ago, Gray?
I think so. Yeah.
If it was when Sevilla won, then he was there.
Well, I mean, we
Did
eventually
Dortmund play
win,
them in the
but-
final?
One in the finals. They played Liverpool in a final too, or
yeah,
some
that was
late.
epic.
Yeah.
Did you guys catch the most epic game? What was the 4-4
Chelsea.
Ajax-Chelsea game this week? Oh my goodness,
not
one of the
catch
best game
that.
of soccer's. One of the best game of soccer I've watched in a
There was a
while.
lot of
Yeah.
controversy.
There's a lot of controversy, but like
That's one I wish I would have seen.
it was the controversy was more that Chelsea should have won it. You know,
Yeah.
like that second handball was ridiculous. It was in a natural position, but a few calls had gone both ways. I feel like the refs did a good job.
But
of
were they fair
balancing.
red cards?
They were pretty bad red cards. Yeah.
They were like within a span of like 3 minutes, weren't they?
Yeah.
Were they related incidents or were they
I stopped watching for
like
most of that period.
like
The middle 10 minutes right there. I watched from zero to like 65 and then 75 to 90.
Mm. Oh, it's unfortunate that they missed it. And then there's actually been a few really good high-scoring draws recently, because also with the Arsenal versus Liverpool tie in the Carabao Cup recently, which ended 5-5, went to penalties where Liverpool eventually did get the technical win over Arsenal, knocked them out. But
Origi stepping up again.
Tactical
Which
genius Unai Emery
sets
takes
up-
Mesut Ozil off after 65 minutes. Has the most passes out of anyone. Best pass accuracy. And he,
which, if you guys, I don't know if you saw, but Liverpool.
done.
So bad.
I'm done.
He makes your team worse. We've had this conversation 100 times.
Okay, all right. Yeah, there was a stat like Arsene Wenger through his last 45 games with Arsenal and Unai Emery through his first 45. Every stat is worse with Unai Emery. He conceded like 20 more goals too. Like
Yeah,
he's made
I've seen
Arsenal
that.
a defensive team that can't defend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's true. In that game, they were able to score a few goals too, which kept it from being a complete rout. But
Because the U16 Liverpool defenders can't defend.
yeah, that's true. Liverpool did play their crap squad.
They're no match for Gabriel Martinelli.
You know, but Liverpool winning that game actually set up a weird problem for them, because they have, I believe, a FIFA Club World Cup match because they won the Prem last season. They have a FIFA Club World Cup match.
It's for the Champions League.
No, so what they have.
Club World Cup is associated with Champions League.
Oh yeah, never mind then. Because they won the Champions League, my bad. They haven't won the Prem yet. That's up and coming. But
It's in Qatar, right?
yeah, it's in Qatar, and then the next day after that they have basically a match 2 days in a row.
Yeah.
One in Qatar and one in England.
And they invited Aston Villa to come to Qatar for their second game.
Yeah. So they have to play Aston Villa in the Carabao Cup after playing probably like Al Shafar from the Asia bracket of the Club World Cup. It's usually is one of those Arab teams that the Prem ends up playing, which is kind of comical in a way. But
Oh, it's a great game.
it makes for just a complete rout. And then the
Pretty
Prem team
explosive
obviously. Yeah, thanks, Christopher. So yeah, then the Prem team gets to the final, and then they actually don't tend to win it. I think United has a Club World Cup win, and then like Chelsea has one. But then I think those might be the only Prem teams which have one, which is kind of strange. But it's just a weird thing, is they have this scheduling error, which usually never ever happens, where you have to play a match 2 days in a row, especially not like 4,000 or 5,000 miles away. And Liverpool aren't going to be able to reschedule it. So, and then throughout the rest of that month, they play a game every 2 or 3 days anyways. I mean, it's a big possibility that they just get completely burnt out from all these matches.
Yeah.
But, I mean, they do have good resolve. Do you think that this might be something which holds the team back? Or do you think that they can get through the super tough winter schedule?
Well, I think going back to guest speaker Brian and what he had to say with that, their depth is just showing up this year, I think. And I know last year, definitely Origi in the Champions League and that kind of stuff. But this year, the Ox is hunting.
The Ox is out there, yeah.
Definitely feels like they have enough squad depth where even if they take a bunch of injuries and their players get super tired, they have enough depth this year, enough talent that they can get through it quite easily and still unscathed, and it won't affect their status in the Prem, and they'll probably still be in all those cup competitions come spring once everything gets down to the wire.
Jurgen Klopp, tactical genius. I've been saying it from day one.
Yeah, you've been following him
yeah.
for a long time now. Brennan discovered Jurgen Klopp.
Yeah.
I did.
Yeah, this Pep Guardiola guy, he's from Spain.
He's alright. He's alright.
Yeah.
Dude, I heard of this cool old manager. He's kind of old school. Have you heard of Sir Alex Ferguson? Heard he was pretty good.
I heard
back
he
in
just
the day.
takes free tickets from United fans
Yeah,
nowadays.
it's pretty embarrassing that he still shows up to those matches, I think.
You could get another hobby.
Seriously.
What else is there to do in Manchester, man?
Move.
Go to a factory.
Well, where we moved to? Aberdeen? There's even less to do.
I don't know. I'm tired of seeing him every
just
time
wanna
there's a
work-
home United match. They just
Yeah,
shades
they
him.
show him
It's
so
either-
much, too.
They show him because he just looks disappointed all
Just
the time.
It's either show up to the Manchester United matches or work in the ship mill.
work
in
for
Aberdeen.
Work for FC United of Manchester. I don't know. Do something good with your life.
Can a man not retire and enjoy himself?
Retire and do something else besides show up to work the same job.
Maybe he just loves soccer and he loves Manchester United.
Yeah,
He coaches teams.
it's in his blood.
Yeah.
He's a true United fan.
See, he doesn't get booed like if Wenger showed up to the Emirates.
No,
you know?
Wenger would get a round of applause.
Right.
I don't know. I mean,
I don't know. It'd
there's
be a
Arsenal
mixed result
fans.
right now.
I think that if they showed Alex Ferguson, people wouldn't even know who he was, who showed up to the Manchester United games. All
But
those
what-
tourists.
that's
That
just
is
completely
completely
false. that is the worst take
All the
this show's
tourists.
had yet. And I've said some pretty stupid things, yeah, you know. But just gonna be on our phones now, boys. Okay, I see how it is.
Oh, I don't know. I guess I was missing that whole laughing fit you guys had for the 20-minute span that earlier in the show. But
That is not my fault.
I don't know whose fault it was, but we'll assess blame afterwards. However, given some of the fixtures that are going on because we have Der Klassiker there, and then in the Prem also a lot going on there. You mentioned with Liverpool and fixture congestion, that's becoming obviously a bigger issue for some of the top teams. I can't remember a time, because you mentioned with Liverpool how congested it really is. I don't know if there's really any precedent for what they've had. So
Yeah.
I know a lot of teams, the good teams generally figure it
They
out.
have the chance for the quintuple this season. If they win the Club World Cup plus all the domestic competitions plus the Champions League, they could get 5 trophies this season.
It's definitely very possible, honestly.
It's such a marketing ploy, and I hate it. And the managers complain about it all the time, and the fans aren't tuning in to the cup, in the Middle East. No one's watching that on TV. So
What Klopp thinks he's going to do is just send his 11 best to Qatar playing that one, or whatever, or maybe he wants his 11 best to play in Aston Villa, or might split them up because obviously the team they play isn't going to be that good. Never is that good until you get to the final, where it's inevitably a South American team versus a European team.
It's either River Plate or Boca.
Yeah, so they'll probably end up playing River Plate or Boca, or maybe a Brazilian team if they're playing really good. I don't know. But it just depends on which ones he wants to send where, and he's just going to have 2 separate squads for those 2 days, and then they'll reconvene after those matches, which I think might be the only way he can possibly handle it.
Yeah, and it's interesting because you look at the last year's Champions League final, you have Spurs and Liverpool, and Liverpool still look like a team that won the Champions League. Watching Spurs now, it's unbelievable they actually got to that stage. I don't know how that happened.
Yeah, I mean, we'll probably edit the clip of their goal over the...
It makes no sense to me.
Yeah, I mean, they're still doing all right in the Champions League.
They're doing pretty well in the Champions League. Oh, except for that Bayern game.
Yeah, except for the Bayern game. They're doing pretty well. Second in their group, I'm sure, by now. They've probably recovered their goal difference, too, after that 4-0 win. So, I mean, they're going to do well enough to get through the group stages. And, I mean, it might end up being like last season where they just go on another run in the Champions League and do terribly in the Prem, which, I mean...
Terribly, would they finish 4th?
Did they? Yeah, they did finish 4th. But they obviously the first half of their season was great, but the second half of their season was terrible, except for the Champions League games. They just happened to scratch through, and they still haven't gotten out of that funk. Like they got into it in January, then I think they still haven't won a home game since January.
Well, they still have Eriksson in his contract standoff.
Yeah.
For me, he's too good for Spurs.
Yeah.
Seems like he could make the quick trip in North London over to the Emirates. I think he's fit in well.
I've heard he's rumored with Juve and United. Those are the last
I've
two.
heard Real.
Real, no?
Real was probably.
Well, I heard that people are saying he's not good enough to start for Real.
Sure, but I don't know. I think he's better than Luka Modric right now.
Right now,
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But can you afford to keep on Luka Modric and Eriksson and bench one of them? Like
Luka Modric
Luka
should be
Modric
good.
will just keep starting.
That
'cause he
would be
won it.
unfortunate if they bench Eriksson and then Eriksson turns into like a Gareth Bale,
It
where
would
he's
be.
just like too talented and sits on the bench.
Gareth Bale doesn't care. He's playing his golf. He's happy apparently. He's
True,
just
but
going to try and go on to the
from
tour.
a fan's perspective, not as fun.
Obviously, no. I mean, if he really wants to get playing time, he'll probably go to. I mean, I would assume he'd get a lot of playing time at Manchester United because we don't have a decent midfielder. And then Pogba is on his way out. I'd have to assume.
I think returning to the Spurs question, my answer for you would be that Spurs just have a secret weapon right now, and that's two-footed sliding challenges from behind the back
God.
onto Andre Gomez.
Wasn't his fault.
Right. And because he cried afterwards, that made it okay.
He had a red card rescinded.
Yeah,
it's clearly
it
not a
wasn't-
foul.
It was a bad foul.
It
No.
was not even a bad
It
foul.
wasn't a bad foul, but it was a dangerous
It was
foul.
a standing challenge.
He had
Yes.
no chance to get the ball. He had no chance.
He was
happens all the time,
Okay, he was a half step behind the ball, taking out the player. Yes, it was a cynical challenge, deserved a yellow. But it wasn't even that challenge that injured him.
Yeah.
It was the fact that who was the other guy?
Aurier.
Yeah, it was Serge Aurier who clattered in and basically sat on poor Andre Gomez's ankle, which turned it sideways.
Yeah.
It was no fault of Son's. Like it was
So
absolutely
everyone's blaming
no.
Son. It's
That's
like,
Yeah.
Son's fault. Hate to break it to you
It's
guys.
it's a witch hunt. It's a modern day witch hunt.
No, it's hilarious because he won't even celebrate. Like, he wouldn't celebrate any
Yeah.
of his midweek goals because he feels so bad, and it's just not his fault.
It's not his fault. And then Arya is just kind of like, it's the meme of the dude chilling in the corner, like looking over the side. He's like, okay, yeah, his fault. Yeah, I mean, obviously a terrible situation. But
It's funny, though, because then you watch things like college football, and people break their legs, like, once a game. Like, I would say someone breaks a bone
I don't
once a
think-
game.
a bone once a game.
bone.
Sure, yeah.
Arm, leg. People get carted off during college football games all the time, and no one's crying on the field. Like, everyone's like, hey, like, let's go, let's
Well,
go.
because
Like,
their like foot isn't like in half. Like,
bro, it literally just shows, like, I just hate how soft soccer looks when everyone on the field is crying because someone's in. Just get off the field. Like, it's a broken leg. I broke my leg sophomore year of high school. Did it suck? Yes. But did everyone cry? No.
That
Like,
injury,
it's on TV. Like, come on,
they
guys.
reacted like that because they know that's a career ender.
But just, like, hold it together.
gonna
Like,
be a
cry about it after the game, man.
It's going to be a miracle if Andre Gomez plays soccer again.
Think about how many
not at all
football
true.
players that
he could. It was recently today that he could play again this season.
No way.
Yeah,
Yes,
I've heard
it's a
that.
Okay,
it's
did
a
he
max-
actually- did he
it's a max
actually-
6-month
It was
injury.
Just,
Did he
it was just,
actually
like a small break?
He's going to be totally fine.
I actually
He'll make a
don't-
full recovery.
I
They all
don't
cry.
mind that the players are crying that much, or like that they're expressing sadness because a player is injured. I mind that there's just so much flopping in soccer, and like I understand it's kind of a part of the game now, and like you, as Christopher is, like when Christopher does it for our indoor team, it's amazing. But it's
It's more of an art.
It's
It-
cool when we do it.
But it's still just, I don't know. It makes soccer have a weak reputation, I think.
Soccer
yeah.
won't enter the mainstream. Sorry, Gray. I'll make it short. Won't enter the mainstream until soccer players toughen up. That's my take.
What does mainstream mean?
Like
in that sense?
In
the
America.
average idiot
In
who's
Am-
sitting at home in a trailer like park, like
Talking like
tuning
America.
into like America.
Quit being
like-
racist against rednecks, George. But I mean, I have to agree with you. But there's no chance that it gets any better from where it is now. I think it's just it's gonna get worse. Like I think the I don't know what the right word would be for soccer. Getting softer in soccer is just only gonna get worse. The new generation of players, as you can see, have just been raised on that, and they know they can get more fouls and other stuff out of it.
Yeah, but will VAR help any of that?
VAR is making it worse because if you get fouled and the ref misses it and you make a big enough fake about it, then the ref's like, oh, I have to go to the ear now, and then they'll go back and they'll probably be like, oh, they got his shoelace, that's a red.
Yeah.
Because also the standards for red cards are absolutely ridiculous these days.
Oh, it's absurd.
If you go back to like the 90s and saw what not even a yellow card challenge, like just a regular foul challenge was, like just straight red these days. Like,
It honestly just seems like it's a trend in sports, like the NBA, NFL as well. Just like players are afraid of contact now.
You're getting paid millions and millions of dollars.
Yeah.
Take your head injury, dude.
That's why I like college football is still crazy because the players aren't disciplined enough to like hold back from just popping people. So if you watch college football, it's like still extremely violent. And, like, that's part of the reason I'm in favor of people, like, college players having their,
People used to die all the time
rights.
in, like, the early 20th century playing football.
Yeah.
Like,
well, the NFL is also
that was also because there wasn't enough, like,
protection.
padding and,
Yeah. But, I mean...
But I think more padding makes it less safe, honestly, because you're way more likely to lead in with your head.
Yeah, but players don't even... Players are so scared of getting fined now that they don't do that as much.
But not in college.
Yeah,
you're not getting fined.
in college.
That's true.
Yeah. What do you guys think of, I'm obviously for it, but I want to hear Chris's opinion mainly on college athletes getting the right to their names.
The right to your name seems like something, it's like, okay, I get it. But I don't think that these college athletes need to be, like, running around, like, getting paid millions by the university. You just don't need that. It's only going to lead to bad behavior on
Right.
on
I think
campus.
they should be able to pursue things like a sponsorship deal with like a shoe. Like Zion last year should have been able to sign like with Nike at that time if you wanted to. I don't think there's a problem with that.
Although I don't think that. I think that sponsorship might have backfired when he blew out his shoe. You know.
Yeah, kind of.
No, but I think that players should get paid for
I
their
think they
name.
should get
Like,
paid, but they shouldn't actually receive the money until after they're out of college.
But I
Think about the people who can't
I think that's a good
like
point.
Cam Newton said in college that he like illegally did all that stuff literally so that like his mom could eat. Like his family at home was so poor that he would like send that money back. to his
why didn't
family.
she get a job, George?
Well, no, I think it's messed up just how much money college football or the NCAA makes off the players.
Yeah.
And they don't get any part in it. Like, if the NCAA wasn't profiting so much off of them, I don't think there would be an issue. But the fact that they should get some of that cut.
Yeah, like it's insane. Like the college football playoff and like the spectacle that it is.
Yeah.
Now, that's absurd.
Yeah.
It's insane.
But anyway, speaking of that, let's say Wake takes down Virginia Tech, and then they roll right into Clemson, take out Clemson.
Rolling
and
to Clemson at 15. Game day goes to Clemson. We should all make the drive. Everyone listening, make the drive. Could be the most legendary Wake Forest football game
Wake
of
Forest
our
enters the top
lifetime.
4 and gets into the playoff after winning out.
It's if we beat Clemson, it's all. I would hope we get in.
We have a loss though, right?
Yeah, but
We have
if
a loss.
LSU, Bama would have losses. PSU and Ohio State one of them will have a loss as well.
You heard it here
Yeah.
first, ladies and gentlemen. Wake Forest, college football
I will
playoff.
commit on air to making the drive to Clemson to go to the game right now.
Sick.
Oh, that's an ironclad commitment.
The trick is finding tickets through Wake. That's going to be the key.
Uh,
Because those tickets are
yeah.
super expensive.
Never
yeah, I
mind.
feel like they're not gonna.
There
Yeah,
are a lot.
Are they?
Doesn't
I've
Clemson
looked
have a
into
huge
it.
stadium?
It's huge, but
Yeah.
everyone at Clemson wants to, like, students, like,
Why do they
fight.
wanna go?
It's like
Yeah.
UT.
You'd think that Wake
Oh,
people
yeah.
would want to go more.
because like for Clemson they'd be like, oh, well,
Yeah,
I mean, it's another
it's just
mediocre
Wake,
team.
yeah.
What do you mean? We're ranked 19 right now. This
But,
is Clemson's,
yeah.
like, hardest game of the season.
That's true.
Like,
True,
all
yeah.
the ESPN commentators are, like, looking to Clemson to prove themselves. Dude, they're not in the top 4 despite being
Yeah.
There's a lot of
undefeated.
pressure on them.
Like, this
I
game
honestly-
is huge.
There's big choke potential
Right.
for Clemson.
Everyone's
which we could take
watching this
advantage
game.
of.
We're gonna have predictions
got
next
nothing to
week,
lose.
but I don't know. I
You
don't see Wake holding up.
I see Wake.
I like
If
it.
we were still undefeated, we would get destroyed by Clemson. But
Yeah.
seeing as we have the pressure taken off by already having a loss, we have nothing to lose. I think we could go
If
for it
we
and take
play
them.
well tomorrow, I think our chances are
Yeah,
higher
I
than
think playing
30.
well against Virginia Tech is much different than playing well
Yeah,
against
but Virginia
Clemson.
Tech they're not a bad team.
They're not a bad team.
They had a
no,
very
but-
narrow loss to Notre Dame last weekend.
They're
No,
not-
that's true.
Yeah,
but
so it's a quality
They're not
win.
a bad team. But if you watch I've watched every minute of every Wake game pretty much this year. JP
Yeah.
Newman is a serious
Jamie
quarterback.
Newman, but
Jamie Newman.
JP. Close enough. You're good, George.
Fuck me.
That's our one F word allowed for the show.
He's a serious quarterback. He can rush. He can throw. He can run on like designed running quarterback plays. Like he's a triple threat, and he looks really good.
And especially with quality receivers like Sage Surratt and
Right.
Scotty Washington. Like
Right.
it's very hard to stop.
Then we do have quality receivers. My problem is we run this power offense where like we have a delayed handoff that like gives us a runner pass option, but
Read
that
option.
only okay, well, it's the same thing. But we're only able to do that against weaker defenses because we can protect against them.
Yeah.
But Clemson dudes are just like the Clemson defense is so much better than any other defense in the league, really, or it's top 5 at least.
But one thing about college is that you can never like say that. Like you can't go into a game saying, "Oh, this team is better because they have better recruits. They have a better like program." Like that's the thing I love about college. No, like you can say that with the Patriots when you watch your NFL games, but you can't say that about good college teams because college athletes are kids. Like they still like play in the moment, play under pressure. Like that's what makes college so great.
I actually think it's the opposite, where in the NFL, everyone...
What?
No, I think in the NFL, everyone has been elite in college, and now every team is amazing. Like, all the players on every NFL team are the best in the world. In college,
Yeah, but you say,
you
like,
have...
Look
Look
at
at the
know about the
Dolphins. Look at the
Dolphins, but,
Patriots.
yeah.
Like there's clearly bad teams, and there's
Yeah.
clearly good
Like,
teams.
you just don't
But
see the Patriots losing this season.
Right.
Just
Like
because
they
they're that
purposely
good.
lost to the Ravens, like essentially. Like and
No,
that's
they
their
didn't.
that's their one loss for the
They
whole.
didn't purposely
I
lose to
don't
the
think they
Ravens.
purposely lost.
I mean, it pretty much. I've heard that they purposely lost.
Why?
Because it sets them up better for like resting their quarterback and stuff like that. I don't know.
Tom Brady.
I don't know. I don't know. I haven't heard about that. But,
I heard it was on purpose. That's just what I've heard. I didn't watch the game. I don't follow NFL, but I heard it was on purpose.
no, I mean, I think you see upsets in college football, but that's more just because like the players aren't as developed. But I think that I can confidently say that a team like Clemson is overall much better than a team than Wake Forest, just in terms of the talent that they have.
Yeah, but the upset potential is much higher in college football. And I think that's.
I don't think.
George
I
is
actually
making.
don't.
Well,
Like,
we'll
obviously
do a
there's-
Twitter poll among our listeners. Do we think that college football or that NFL is more prone to
All right. Yeah.
upsets.
I'll put that one out there.
Yeah,
I mean, I think
Chris forget
well,
on that.
college football is more prone to upsets, but I think that players are better. Like,
so we're changing the argument now?
Yeah, you completely contradicted yourself from like 2 minutes ago. I mean, yeah, there's clear distinctions between who's like
higher upset
the better
potential?
teams in college football,
Higher
but
upset
like what we've been trying to say is that there's more potential for upsets because the players aren't fully mature yet. I mean, at best they've had high school is not really the same as college, and college isn't going to be the same as NFL, but they have like at best 3 years experience at that level.
Yeah. I see
And-
both sides.
And it's more than likely if they get into a big pressure-packed situation, that's the first time they've been.
Right, that's
even
right.
if they are seniors.
Especially a team like Clemson who plays no one good. Like, they're not challenged until the playoff, and by then, they've been coached so well through the season that they're like a cohesive unit. They have the chemistry, and that's why they're ready for Alabama. But it's still early enough so that they're not ready. This is their first test.
Trevor Lawrence doesn't look like he's ready for anything.
Trevor Lawrence had 2 interceptions in the first quarter against
Yeah.
Duke, I think it was. Like, give me a break.
He's not in form.
He's not.
This is our chance. Jamie Newman's the best quarterback in the ACC.
JP Newman.
Haha.
that's just not true.
Anyway, you mentioned Clemson, and like their defensive line is obviously, at least in terms of rankings, but George hates those, but they are supposedly one of the best, and that sort of also shed some light on Wake's biggest deficiency, which is their defense. You saw it in the Louisville game.
what are Clemson's
And
other
our
slow-
best defender, I can't remember his name. He is
Yeah,
out for the season.
he has the most
so
tackles,
That doesn't
yeah.
help.
Mm.
But that was actually a few weeks ago. So
Yeah, and we're still doing fine. What were Clemson's other close calls in the so far? Because I believe that Carolina almost took them out,
Yeah.
right?
Carolina almost took them out.
Carolina almost took them out, and then you said against Duke,
I feel
they
like
struggled.
Duke or NC State had them in the first half. No, they're playing NC State tomorrow. So Duke, I feel like,
Yeah.
had them in the first half.
Yeah, NC State.
Chris is, I feel like, checking that one on Google, unfortunately. About to get exposed here.
Yeah,
or
so
I could be
they're
right.
playing NC State tomorrow night.
But what about the Duke game? Was that one close in the first half?
The Duke one, it looks like they have not played Duke.
Well, they did play UNC.
You might be thinking
You
of
were
UNC.
probably thinking of the UNC game.
yeah,
They only
okay.
won by a
Yeah.
point against UNC.
That was
yeah.
the close one.
yeah,
That's wild.
and that's probably I think the game you're thinking of where there was
Yeah,
two
they actually
two
haven't
interceptions.
played like
Look
that
at their
poorly.
schedule this season.
A&M
unreal.
is somewhat good, but not
They weren't
fantastic.
Yeah, and
They played
weren't-
Charlotte.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Florida State, who's terrible. Louisville, who's not good.
They actually took a lot of heat on ESPN for even playing Wofford last week.
Playing Wofford.
Like that's part of the reason they're not in the top four is because
Their
analysts are
schedules-
pissed that they made their schedules too easy.
It's too easy. I mean,
So yeah, we're definitely there.
they play Wake and then South Carolina, who's not that
Not
great.
bad.
They beat
Who did
Georgia. But
South
that's, it's
Carolina
not
actually?
they're not that great. But
Yeah, and then
even if they
is that
win
the
out,
last game, isn't it?
yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Whereas Wake, I believe, ends the season with Duke.
Yeah. I mean,
Sometimes we choke that, unfortunately.
yeah.
We
So
destroyed that one last year.
we did.
Yeah,
Yeah, remember that? That was a huge win
it was
against
a big
Duke.
one. Yeah.
But they will be back for vengeance this season, obviously.
Yeah.
They want to right that ship. So 3 games left in the season, correct, for Wake?
You are right.
They're predicting us right now to go to the Orange Bowl,
Yeah, so
Which,
which would be unreal.
that would.
Because if I'm not mistaken, it's the second best team in the ACC, or the best team in the ACC goes to the Orange Bowl. So
Yeah.
if Clemson goes to the playoff, then Wake would
Then
go
we go to
there.
the Orange Bowl, yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully don't get destroyed by some other... Who's the other team that
I
goes to
think
the
we'll
Orange
possibly
Bowl?
play Florida.
It'd be probably Florida. So correction, Wake plays Virginia Tech, Clemson, Duke, and they end with Syracuse.
But I mean,
Ah.
if you guys think that Wake can upset Clemson, we can surely upset Florida.
I don't think Clemson right now is as good as Florida right
I
now.
think
No way.
I watched Florida play Georgia last week. They're an
But
actual
Georgia's also
balanced
pretty
team.
bad.
no, Georgia's
That's
good.
not true.
Justin Fromm is
If-
kind of a weak quarterback. I
Jake
think.
Fromm.
Jake
But
Fromm,
yeah, cool.
Would we capture the ACC championship if we beat Clemson?
So there's two divisions. There's the Coastal and the Atlantic. So we are in with Clemson. If we did beat Clemson and we won out and they won every game except that,
We would win head-to-head, right?
I guess it would go head to
head-to-head,
head.
yeah.
So we would win then,
Yeah.
which is ridiculous because
But
the Coastal has UVA at the top and they are 6-3 overall, which is
So
absurd.
would we have to play in the ACC championship?
Yeah,
Yeah, against Virginia.
probably against Virginia, which is
Which,
ridiculous.
yeah.
That'd be a nice little.
I mean,
nice
it'd
little
be
rest
nice, like-
game
like-
against
Yeah.
before the
Because, I
Orange
mean-
Bowl against Florida.
Well, that put
Yeah.
us, that
Well,
put us
I mean-
at 12-1. We'd take.
dude, yeah. I mean,
All right, well, we're in the playoff at that point.
We're in the playoff. If we're 12-1, like,
Yeah.
you can't say no to that.
come on. Yeah, I mean, winning the ACC championship would be pretty sweet, but obviously Clemson is gonna be a big fork in the road for that.
That would be hilarious to see Wake play against like Alabama.
Oh my god! Just get destroyed like 70-2. We get a safety and that's it.
It'd be like Notre Dame playing in the playoff. Ooh.
Yeah.
That was a
Burn.
slight at all the Notre Dame listeners out
Burn.
there.
But they deserve it. Like Notre Dame's just not a great team.
I mean, they're a good team. They're a good team, but they're
Not
not,
great.
They're
as
not
good
great.
as Alabama.
They should play in the ACC.
Right, they should play in the ACC.
Yeah, but that's the only
Or
way.
any normal
Any
division.
conference.
Or any conference.
Yeah, you do not have a conference.
So
Yeah,
that,
but
that way they don't play any hard team, and they can demand to play in the playoff every single year.
well, they also do that to play some rivalry games like Michigan and USC every year, which generally are quality teams except USC. USC starts every season like top 10.
And then
Where are they like 3-6?
What happened to them? Like, I don't know what happened.
What's his name?
They
the
had
Seahawks
a few close,
coach.
Oh, right.
like really close losses. Like they lost to BYU, I think, and then maybe some other team that. But they could have won those games. But you know,
You know.
you know,
Anyway, with
we know.
also sort of on the whole Wake sports thing, I don't think because Wake football's doing so well, I don't think I'm going to pay that much attention to basketball because they look like another embarrassment this year.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
terrible.
hey, only 7 points to Boston College.
Yeah, but the game was out of reach for a while. Like, you know how college games goes. Like, it kind of gets closer, but because they stop
Yeah.
it. So, yeah. So, really, it was more like a 12-point loss, honestly.
Well, I mean, how's the soccer bracket looking?
So,
Who
Sunday,
are we going to end up
They're
they're
playing?
playing
Virginia Tech.
Virginia Tech
Virginia
this
Tech
Sunday
twice this weekend.
here.
What time?
Yeah, 5.
5?
Yeah.
Okay.
5 o'clock this Sunday against Virginia Tech.
And then,
Is that the quarterfinal or the semifinal? Which
Semi.
one do we get straight?
Semi?
Straight into the
For sure?
semi for
Okay.
the
Because we got to buy from the first.
that's okay. So, that'd be good.
Yeah, that's
But
the
we are
ACC.
third seed
Yeah, only third seed.
in ACC because
What?
we did lose twice.
Yeah.
Recently, we've had it wasn't last week, but the week before it was a bad week. It was a draw to Loyola, Maryland.
Ugh.
that was 1-1, and then another dry loss to Notre Dame
Well,
that weekend.
I'm hoping it'll serve as a wake-up call. Like, they need to get ready. It's
I think they've
playoffs.
been trying, but they just don't have that talisman who was Omir Fernandez last season. They don't have the one guy to turn to now.
Aristotle's also out for the season, which is huge.
Oh,
Yeah.
when did that happen?
That happened Notre Dame game, I heard.
Really?
Yeah.
What is it?
That's the gossip. What?
Do you know, like, what?
Oh, no, I don't.
No.
I think ACL.
Oh, that's
no.
rough.
It's really bad, yeah.
Who do we have left?
Chope.
Machoke Chol, of course. But then, I don't know.
Bruno Lampa.
Bruno, but he doesn't really
Yeah.
score much.
He's good, though. He's
He
creative.
could step up, though. You never know who's going to
There's,
step up for playoffs. If you
Alistair
make a run,
Alistair
Johnson.
Johnson.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, had a sick goal a few weeks back that made number 6 on SportsCenter top 10.
That's
Oh,
true.
shit.
Yeah.
There's also Calvin Harris, who was the
You
ACC
mean
Offensive
the
Player of the
EDM
Week.
guy?
Yeah, he'll be DJing. But yeah, he scored the winner against Louisville over the course of this
Met
weekend.
you in the summer.
take it away, Brennan.
So that's our next spin-off podcast. Brennan will be playing. He'll be spinning some nice tunes for us also.
He will.
But yeah, so that would bring. We're actually in the quarterfinals. So to
Yeah,
correct Brennan on
okay.
that one. So
Yeah,
you were
my
wrong
bad.
again.
Straight
Thanks.
into the quarters, not the...
We would play the winner of Virginia and Syracuse. Virginia is the 2 seed in that one. Also quality side. If you recall, last season, Virginia and Wake played a thrilling 3-2 contest in Virginia, where Wake came back from 2-0 down, I believe. It was a good one to watch, but I don't see them having a potent attack in this one. So it'll be tough to see. But Clemson is the number 1 seed in the ACC, which Wake did win. But that one was also very lucky because I don't know if anyone else went to that game, but that was the one where they were losing with like 5 minutes left, and the goalie like let the ball slip past him, went to overtime, gave a penalty like a minute into it, and lost.
I didn't see that one. That's
So
wild.
he had a long ride home.
That's
Yeah.
tough.
It's a bit brutal way to go out.
Yeah.
But other things in the sports world, the football boys are making a huge run in the IM soccer leagues for Wake Forest.
Playoffs.
Have you played
It's
your
playoffs.
Yeah, we haven't played ours yet.
When is our playoff game scheduled for?
Ours is Tuesday, I think.
I think we need to figure that
We'll
out.
hit up the captain.
Yeah.
Who's the captain? Surprised that's not
Brent.
you, Gray.
Goodrich.
It's not me. Brent Goodrich. Trying to pull up the playoff bracket, but I can't quite get to
Yeah,
it very
I don't know how
quickly.
many teams are in that.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
everyone makes playoffs, and they just seed us.
That's absurd.
I think
Yeah.
we're seeded pretty high, though.
we're
are.
the
What's
best
your record?
non-3-win team.
Yeah.
We have to be.
2-1-0.
Yeah.
So we won to get 2 draws.
2 and a draw. Yeah, 2 wins and
But
a
our
draw.
goal difference is insane.
All right, yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
No, I think we were seeded 2nd or 3rd. Something
Really?
crazy.
Really?
Yeah.
Did they see this
'Cause Did
up-
you see that email from IM?
Yeah, they did send us
They,
a good
they sent us an email with our seed.
With like a selection time or something.
Yeah, but because of our seeding.
Yeah, so they did an interesting thing. They did you got to draft yourself into
Which,
the bracket,
I
which
don't
is something
understand how it works.
unheard of. But, you know, they do what they want over at IM Leagues on their very sketchy website. But,
Only like 40,000 ads.
yeah, only 40,000 ads a second. It's just going to be interesting to see if they ranked us above the teams that went 2-0. For some reason, there was teams that only played 2 games, and, I mean, they won both. So it'll be interesting to see if they rank us at 2
You
wins
have
and
a
a
higher
draw.
win percentage, so
Well, yeah. So I think we might end up not being ranked above them, which would put us at like 6th or 7th.
Could have more points, though.
We would have more points, but it's just you never know what they go off of in IM leagues. And the
Insights.
yeah, the
Yep.
website is just completely down at the moment. It looks like
Yeah, I tried to access it like a week ago or something, and it kept saying site not available. I was like, I
great.
don't know what that means.
Yeah. Well, in the meantime, then we could discuss what the Wake Forest club golf team is up to, and that is nationals.
Looks like we're out of time for today.
That's a bummer.
That's hype.
Yeah, so Wake Forest Club Golf Team, yours truly, Gray, is going to Thackerville, Oklahoma for the national championship with the rest of the Club Golf A team.
How
And
many people is that?
there's eight of us,
Gotcha.
and we will be competing for the national title, which I believe Clemson won last year with the scores like that averaged about mid-upper 70s. So, I mean, we have a shot.
What are you guys
Never know.
averaging? Well, because you won the last one. What do you guys?
We won the last tournament actually not shooting very well at all because conditions were terrible that
Gotcha.
weekend. Super soaked course, lots of rain and wind. So I think our average that tournament was probably like upper 80s. Or I mean, not upper 80s. Upper 70s, lower 80s. And it would have been lower had they put myself and Steven onto the A team for that, but they messed around with the seedings a little bit, so I ended up playing on the B team for that tournament and outshot, I think, half of the A team, which, you know, it happens. I wasn't too mad, except for when they gave out the trophies and I didn't get one. You know, just cried in the car on the way home. I didn't get my trophy cup.
Did you at least get ice cream on the way back?
No. It was, yeah, you know.
It's okay, Gray. No matter what you do when you come back from Oklahoma, we're all going to go out for ice cream.
Good. I'm going to come back with the trophy. We're winning this.
You're going to drink a non-alcoholic beverage out of it.
Yes, of course, non-alcoholic. I'm not 21 yet, so of course it would be non-alcoholic. I'm thinking orange juice.
Okay.
But did you get the bracket pulled up?
I don't know if I can find it, but...
Well, we will get the bracket pulled up for the football boys, and there I am league championship. If we can figure out how to click on this. Yeah, any of y'all have some other interesting news you'd like to share?
Nothing too interesting.
Nothing too interesting.
My toe's doing fine. Thanks for asking.
Oh,
guys.
yes. Christopher had a horrible, horrible
I
injury.
re-aggravated it playing volleyball.
He
I also additionally hurt my ankle doing the same thing, too. I was
lost
trying to chop a ball like a soccer ball.
You know what you were trying to do, George, right?
Oh, yeah, I know. I'm very familiar with the move.
He lost a toenail. And he was maybe a doubt for the playoffs, but
He was. They gave him an 8-week return time frame, but he has been keeping healthy, drinking a lot of spirulina drink actually, and now he is expected to play in our first playoff game.
I would say guaranteed starter. The manager puts me first name on the team sheet.
How do y'all decide who starts?
Yeah, it's mainly like whoever just looks at each other and like forces the other people
Yeah,
to walk off.
whoever stays on
starts.
the court the longest before conceding to start out.
For some reason, I've ended up being the captain who goes up and does the thing. So that's why I'm looking at people like I'm not walking off.
yeah. And I don't know why you get subbed off in defense. You're like our only good defender.
Yeah, I'm like, what are you guys doing?
Just don't
Well, 'cause we have
go
to
off.
sub it
Do what I
somewhere.
do. Just don't go off.
Yeah, but that makes
those
it so
people.
awkward for everyone else
Yeah,
who wants
it's
to go
weird.
on.
So
Plus, I didn't play. the
Well,
entire-
I mean,
yeah.
like obviously
Well-
it's fun for you, but not for the other people. Selfish play
well,
for
the
Gray
team
Hyatt.
the team does better when me and Christopher are on the pitch.
Well, I don't know about that.
I mean, I think the stats can back us up there. I'm pretty
Because
sure.
you're out there the longest.
Actually, if we do look at the stats for the last match, I don't know who input them, but
Oh, somebody did.
as of
If they put him in wrong, I might be a little bit pissed.
Oh yeah, because that matters so much.
I mean, I got the hat trick again, so I mean, I'd like to see it inputted correctly if somebody does
print it
input
out
the
and put it on
stats.
your fridge. Look, Mom, my IM game.
Yeah, okay, Brennan. You were super proud of your one goal.
Yeah.
But
I was
So-
proud of that.
it was pretty impressive.
they only gave me 2.
I'm at 420 goals, and our captain Brent is at negative 2,246. So,
Is negative goals equal to own goals?
yeah, I don't know what he was doing, but he forgot where we were shooting at.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, that's goals total, and goals per game. I'm actually at 210, so
Yeah, that's pretty solid.
I'm banging him in by the second.
420 goals in this single game for Christopher. Wow.
You know, it's interesting from defense, but you know, I launch them long. You know. When I don't see anyone open, I just go for it.
So when did you have time to put in these stats, Christopher?
Oh, I don't have time for this. Why would I have done that? It's absurd. Next, I'll put him in for the game against Georgia's team.
Yeah.
Hey,
If
I will
there's
say, if we had our starters and Brennan had played more, you guys left him on the bench the entire game.
That's not true.
He
I
played
literally
for 2 minutes.
Yeah.
I played like 5 minutes.
You did not play 5
You guys
minutes.
looked bad, so
We
you can't
looked
cover
bad,
that
but
up.
we tied.
And
the
you know what
team
he
that
did
y'all
in those
tied.
2
You guys got
minutes?
way better.
We got
You know-
way better.
You know what he did in those 2 minutes? He scored on you guys.
I know. He
So-
did. He did.
And he missed
Yeah,
like
we'll
3
see
sitters.
y'all in playoffs.
Yeah.
I'll just leave
Who'd you
it
guys
at
pick
that.
up? Because you guys looked way better.
We just picked up people who actually played soccer, which
Okay.
made a huge difference. There's just guys who were bumbling around.
Yeah, because it was great that we played you early on to get the goal difference up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, we picked up a couple of guys who were like actually good in high school, and then I moved just to D, let those fools go up there and
Yeah.
actually play well.
I mean, we
And,
saw from your draw against,
Yeah.
what was it, Pelotas?
we beat Deke the game before that too.
Yeah,
Deke's
that's
pretty
a
good.
huge win.
I don't
So
know
you
if
guys
they're
finished
good,
1-1-1, right?
They're freaking aggressive.
You finished 1-1-1 for the season.
1-1-1. Yeah,
Yeah.
we're coming not bottom, but like we'll probably still play like a good team like y'all,
It's
like an
second round, probably.
upper team.
The bracket is weird. It's not loading correctly, or they just haven't put in everybody. We might need to talk to our captain to actually get us put in that.
Yeah, because we had like 12:30 as our time, so
12:30 at 1.
like today. So
What?
Like to
Then
put
we
to
missed
put
our
in.
game.
Oh.
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't understand how this works either. Also, where do you guys stand on the ball type? Because I like the bigger.
Yeah, I like
lighter,
the, I like
yeah.
The light ball or
I like the
futsal?
futsal ball
Oh, I
actually.
hate
Really?
that ball.
No, the ball's not good.
closer ball control. Like the other one's just rubbery.
The other one is rubbery
Wait,
and bouncy.
which
And
one
it's
do you
I'm talking about like the small futsal actual soccer ball.
I hate
the
that
heavy
one.
one.
Yeah, that one's
There's
It's
the
heavy.
heavy
You
ball.
can pass around. You can actually like play in the
Yeah.
angles. Like I don't know. The rubber one just also could be my touch, but it bounces like
Well,
a mofo.
it makes everybody's touch pretty bad, I assume. But I think it's more fun for playing indoor, and it's also not the threat of like you get absolutely like fucked up
Drilled.
if you get the ball hit to your face or God
Yeah.
forbid your
One of the
private
goal
parts.
we played a game and the other team literally like their goalie got smashed in the face with
Like,
a
yeah.
ball.
His
You were already up like
glasses-
8-2 too. His
And,
like glasses broke. I felt really bad.
These guys insisted on playing with the futsal
Yeah.
ball,
Yeah.
and then their
Was it
poor
this guy?
their poor keeper got the ball just
Was it the team we
blasted
played
into
or
his
no?
face.
No, they were pretty bad.
Yeah, they were
Yeah, it was a crap team we played last, but yeah, we felt bad. Dude had to sub off. Took it like a champ, to be fair.
He did.
Ball
Yeah.
straight
Holding
to his
back to
face
his-
on the
Straight to the
glasses.
dome.
Yeah,
Just gotta keep it together.
It wasn't even the dome. It was the face. It was, like,
the
yeah.
face,
Yeah.
like ball straight to the nose, and
Was
like
it a ripper?
yeah.
yeah, from like 2 yards out.
Yeah.
This poor guy got fucked up.
clobbered.
Yeah,
Jeez.
it was bad. So, I mean, I'd prefer to play with the softballs just because we're not out there trying to get hurt, and you know, you can, if you're good, you can still play with the other ball. I mean, honestly, I think shooting is more fun with that ball because you can actually kind of get a little curl on it or something. The futsal balls, it just encourages you to smack it as hard as you can at the keeper, and then they'll hope that they are too scared to save it.
I feel
I
like
mean,
that's
if you-
just right in your wheelhouse. So great.
I mean, it is. It suits me well, but I don't know.
You don't prefer.
I'd prefer to smash the softer ball and like have it be a good, well placed shot versus just absolutely crushing that futsal ball and breaking the keeper's wrist.
I feel like the football ball doesn't move as well on that ground.
It really doesn't.
Yeah, I like the other ball. It glides way better.
Yeah. Plus, you don't get as much bounce off the shots. Like, I remember at some points with the softball, like you could hit the volley and it bounced right back to you. You get another chance at it. With the futsal, it just kind of like bumps against the wall. It doesn't spring off of it. Makes it more fun for if you're trying to do the indoor moves where like you do like a step over, play it off the wall, go around the defender that way. You know, that type of thing. I don't know. I just feel like it's a better game for indoor when you're doing the softer ball versus the futsal. Especially if there's walls in play.
Oh, yeah. Except people don't use the walls enough.
Oh, I know. It's such an advantage if you can use the wall as well because people don't expect it. And I think we're finally getting our team acclimated to doing it. Like, I'll just say off the wall or something. And after, like, the 5th or 6th time I say it, they'll finally get it.
Exactly. No one knows what to do except Gray.
Yeah. You gotta lead from the front, Christopher.
No.
No?
No.
No.
All right, do we want to end it there?
Take it away, Chris.
All right.
Home.
All right, so we'll cut that and then we'll just end this with
Oh
this
wait,
one.
yeah.
All right. And always exciting coming to a conclusion here, which our indoor season won't come to that soon of a conclusion. We'll hope to make a long run in that.
Yes,
Don't worry
of
about that. And you can keep up to date with everything we're doing here again with the Twitter.
At Next Goal Wins _WF.
That's right. And again, in the studio as always, it's Christopher McGeera.
George Wigington.
Brennan Saul.
Gray Hyatt.
All right, again, the show Next Goal Wins, and watch on Twitter. No, we're watching on YouTube, right?
Yeah.
We're on YouTube. Yes.
But
Next
the link
Goal
on
Wins.
Twitter.
Yes, the link
Whatever.
to the YouTube
You'll
is on
find
our
it.
Twitter. But on YouTube, we are at Next Goal Wins.
Goodbye.
which You already know since you're listening to that right now.
Take us away, Gray.
Huh? Oh. Oh, it's
Ah. I was thinking like a closer, like a.
Yeah.
All right, that's it.